El Nino means it is the abnormal temperature in the equatorial Pacific. Pacific is a big region, thousands of kilometers extent. Okay. Now, generally in the eastern Pacific is a very cold relative. So, आप देखेंगे कि that Chile, Ecuador, all that South American countries, one of the main business for them is the fishing and tourism. And fishing is mainly because fishes are, you get a good catch of fish in that area because temperatures are generally 23, 24 ocean temperature, and fish likes to be in the colder area. Why that colder is because from the bottom of the ocean the water goes up in that region. Okay. So, that nutrient food which is at the bottom that comes at the top, and fish will be there to eat that, and you get a good. But in El Nino is what happens is that El Nino is a phenomena where the temperatures are very much above normal than above the normal. That means it heats 2 to 3 degree. Now, that is why people say that El Nino phenomena was first identified by not by the scientist, by the fisherman. So, since as I said the peaking happens in the winter, the fishermen in that area found that in some years the temperature increases so much and they do not find a fish.
So, what happens when what happens to the feed? Why does not it come up?
So, it becomes a opposite. Instead of coming bottom from the cold air is coming from the bottom to up, warm air goes from top to bottom. So, warm water gets accumulated in that area.
So, then the fish go below?
No, means fish they will go for relatively cooler areas.
They don't come to that pressure, they don't come to that.
And even people say that even tourism industry get affected there mainly because even these fishes are the main food for a lot of different type of birds in that area. Okay. And in the coastal area also generally people from Europe and they come and the good they have got good sea that kind of coastal area. But during the El Nino time, since the temperature increases, there is a more cloudiness happens in there and more rains happen in that area. And one way you do not get a fish and another is a big rain. So, a lot of birds die without food in that area, and it is so much dirty it becomes during that time, smelly. No tourist goes there and it is already rainy. So, they get affected during. So, that is why people started noticing El Nino and more observations were started. And then later scientists found this phenomena is not only affecting that region, it has got a large impact on other parts like monsoon, even El Nino, typhoon activity like that, so much of impact. How Indian region, so as I said in thousands of kilometer area where temperature increases, naturally the air just above that also will get by conduction process, the temperature will be transferred to the air above that. And when relatively that becomes warm than the neighboring air, the density decreases and that will start rising. When it start rising, this moisture it brings a clouds. That is why but what happens is that in a massive air when it rises, you can't accumulate air at the top. Somewhere it has to go and down. Now, similarly, when the air is dragged towards that region because of the low pressure that formed because of the temperature, air will be moving from some other place to that region, and this air rises and at the top it goes and somewhere it makes a downward motion. And wherever subsidence happens, it inhibits clouding in that area. And it happens that over Indonesia, Malaysia, that what we call maritime region, there is a huge subsidence takes place, and also neighboring Indian region, and it weakens the monsoon because when it subsidence takes place, so not only it weakens the monsoon, later part when it continues, that generally when heating takes place, I am speaking physics because that is how it can be appreciated. When heating takes place, there is a natural process of reducing the heat at the surface. It is simple that when air heats, it will rise and will deposit this heat from the surface to top, and thereby it cools the surface. That is the natural process. But when there is a subsidence, it does not allow air to go up. So, this warm air gets deposited or being not allowed go rise, it remains in the surface, and naturally the temperature increases. That is why we are seeing that since September we are experiencing above normal temperature.